Smallco Berhad, which was owned by Lisa and Mal. And this is the large bank. Smallco Berhad had borrowed some amount of money from the large bank, which is 30,000 ringgit. They executes fixed and floating charges but was not registered due to the loss of forms. However, Lisa and Mal had personally guaranteed these charges. This is Kate Kinnan. Smallco Berhad had also borrowed some amount of money from Kate, which is 20,000 ringgit. They executes a second fixed and floating charge and registered to the ROC within 30 days. However, Kate does not aware about the existence of the large bank charges. Unfortunately, the Smallco Berhad become insolvent and goes into liquidation 4 months after the registration of Kate's charge. So the issue here is whether Kate's charge or the large bank charge is enforceable.
The issue in this case is whether Kate's charge has priority against large bank charge because of the registration of charge. So in order to determine the priority of charges, the following issues should be considered. Firstly, whether the charge was registered. Second, whether the charge is fixed or floating. And thirdly, where the charge is floating, whether it crystallized on commencement of winding up or prior to that. And lastly, whether there are any preferential creditors. So, in this case, there are only 2 issues that will be highlighted, which are the first and the second issue. I'll be explaining about the registration of charges. The registered charge means a charge that had been registered accordingly with the Registrar of Charge under Section 108 of the Companies Act. And the effect of the registration is that it gives the chargee priority over later registerable charges. A charge that is registered earlier than another charge will have priority over it, even if the second mentioned charge was created before it. On the other hand, the effect of unregistered charge is provided under Section 108 of the Companies Act, whereby it will be void. However, the charges still have responsibility to the charge as responsibility to the unsecured creditor. So the provision does not apply to the equitable charge, which refers to the presence of contract. An equitable charge has no priority over a legal charge unless the equitable charge was created first and it was proved that the holder of the legal charge has an actual or constructive notice at the time of the creation of charge about the existence of the equitable charge.
This can be illustrated in the case of United Overseas Bank Limited and Forward Overseas Credit Limited. In this case, GS Corporation Limited created a mortgage over its immovable property in favor of the defendants. The mortgage was registered at the Registry of Deeds and was only registered with the Registrar of the Companies after 2 times of extension of time stipulated as what was provided under Section 137 of the Companies Act. Meanwhile, on the same day of the registration, the plaintiffs who had obtained judgment against GS Corporation for certain sum of money had the charging order nisi absolute. The issue is whether the mortgage was void against the plaintiff charged by virtue of Section 131 subsection 1 of the Companies Act. It was held that the defendant's mortgage was registered under the Registration of Deeds Act some 8 months or before the plaintiff's charging order nisi was registered. The mortgage being a valid charge ab initio as a consequence to its registration under Companies Act, and therefore the defendant's legal mortgage had priority over the plaintiff's equitable charge, which was postponed to the mortgage by virtue of Section 15 of the Registration of Deeds Act. In applying the authority with the situation faced by Smallco, Kate and Large Bank, firstly, since the charge created between the Large Bank and Smallco is unregistered due to the loss of the form and document by the Large Bank clerk, it can be said that the charge was an equitable charge. On the other hand, the charge created by Kate is registered to the FOC within 30 days of its creation, therefore it was a legal charge. However, it was clear that in the situation given, the kid does not aware of the existence of large bank charge. Therefore, there is no actual or constructive notice arises in this situation. Therefore, although kid's charge was created after large bank charge, kid's charge has priority over the large bank's charge because it is registered and that kid has no actual or constructive notice about the charge created under large bank.
Secondly, the priority of charges can be determined based on types of charge, which is fixed and floating charge. Fixed charge is a charge which attached to specific property identifiable and required creditors' consent for its disposal. Meanwhile, floating charge is attached on company's future and present asset. It changes during the company's course of business and company can only dispose the asset after they are crystallized. Generally, a fixed charge will rank above a floating charge, assuming that both were registered even though the floating charge was registered earlier. On the other hand, a floating charge has no priority over the fixed charge unless the floating charge was created earlier than the fixed charge and has a clause prohibiting the creation of subsequent charges without the holder's consent, or also known as a negative pledge, and the fixed chargee having knowledge of the clause. According to the case of in the matter of Benjamin Cook, where a company has created a charge over the whole of its undertaking, a second floating charge would take priority after a first unless the terms of the prior charge allowed the company to create subsequent charges with an equal or higher priority. Besides that, in the case of United Malayan Banking Corporation against Aluminium Berhad, the floating charge ranked above the fixed charge because there is a negative pledge stated that the company shall not create another charge without a written consent.
In addition, according to Section 294 of the Companies Act, a floating charge created within 6 months of the commencement of the winding up shall be void, unless it can prove that the company immediately after the creation of the charge was solvent. So, in conclusion to the situation is that kid's charge is enforceable against large bank charge. So, has obtained priority of the large bank's charge because it is registered. In fact, Kate is not aware of the existence of the large bank charge. However, the floating charge of Kate's Keenan charge is void because it was created 4 months before the liquidation of the company, which means by virtue of Section 294 of the Companies Act, it is void unless it can be proven that the company was solvent immediately after the creation of the charge. So that's all from us. Thank you.